Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Simply Cinnamon, and if you're new here, welcome. It has been a minute since I have been on my channel. It has been 2 years since I have filmed a video. And I think that my viewers and my subscribers deserve to know where I've been and what's been happening in my life, and I want to share that with you. I'm happy to be back and to be sitting in front of the camera again, but there is a few reasons why I've been away that I would like to take a few minutes and explain so that we can move forward in my journey. We're just going to get right into it. The last time I filmed a video was April of 2018. And in that video, I was very emotional and quite upset. I felt like after watching this video now, 2 years later, I was kind of all over the place. And the reason being is into the winter and early spring of 2018, my daughter was going through a very, very difficult time in her life. She lives up in New England. She is grown. She was 30 at the time, but this was a very difficult time in her life, something that was happening with her. And I'm not clearly going to get into that. It's personal and she deserves her privacy. But I was spending a lot of time traveling from here up to New England and working full time. And I didn't have the time that I really wanted to devote to my channel. And then at the same time, a very good friend of mine who also lives up in New England, her father had passed away. Now, generally, you would go to a funeral and you'd be sad and you get over that and move forward. But for me, that funeral opened up a Pandora's box of battle wounds and old hurt. And the reason being is because my girlfriend's father, as my father was in the military. And it was a military funeral. And they did the taps and 21 gun salute, the folding of the American flag presented to the family. My father passed away in 1979, and that is the exact kind funeral that he had. I was immediately transported not to a 49-year-old woman who was standing by the side of her girlfriend, consoling her, but to the 10-year-old child that was standing over her father's grave. And the reason it was so extremely difficult for me is because, very hard to tell the whole world, but I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse at the hands of my father. And I think it was kind of divine intervention that he was taken out of my life. And anybody that has been through either sexual abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, knows that when something happens years later after you've worked through things, something can trigger a memory and you can go right back to that exact moment in time where you had no control or felt like you had no control and you were alone and scared. So that's why that funeral just it tore me up, not just because of the man that he was that passed away. He was a great father and a great mentor and kind of the father that I wish I had always had, but it just opened up so much pain for me. And it took me quite a few weeks into a couple of months to get back to myself, even though in that video I was trying to be, strong and whatever. I decided to take some time off after filming that video. I did get some negative feedback from that video and some positive feedback, but that's why there's vanilla and chocolate. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Some people were very, very supportive, and other people were sometimes downright cruel, which we have no room for in this world. So I had every intention of coming back to my channel in the fall and winter of 2018. But that was just not meant to be. My husband had gotten hurt at work earlier in the year of 2018, and we were dealing with that. He was supposed to have surgery, and it never happened. The doctor put him out of work in the middle of December, a couple of weeks before Christmas. And I started panicking and being upset, thinking, what are we going to do? We did have a little bit of money saved, but, until those workman comp checks start coming and, things start rolling. Like, what are we going to do? It's 2 to 3 weeks before Christmas. Like, we're screwed. Um, because he was the major breadwinner in the family. So I literally worked myself up into such a frenzy and such fretting, which means worry, that I literally made myself sick. And when I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly. I ended up having a mini stroke, or a TIA, some people call it, December 30th. Never had problems with with having high blood pressure or my heart or any signs of stroke before, ever, ever, ever. So I 100% believe that it had to do with the stress that I was under. I also suffer from a disease, or an ailment called tinnitus, which is ringing in your ear. It can be high pitched, it can be low pitched, it can be like a swishing sound or a drum beating sound. It's different to the individual. Mine is a high pitched, like, squeal, and you have it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And can you imagine living with that? When you're trying to go to bed at night, not being able to shut that noise off. It's not like, oh, I'm listening to a music video and I'm going to shut it off. It's there, and it's there all the time. So I believe that that also played a part in it. I had to actually go on medication to help me sleep because I couldn't fall asleep because it was so loud. During the day I didn't suffer as much because there's so much external noise, but at night it was horrific. So, here we are now. Is I've had, dealing with my daughter, dealing with myself problems, my husband now being out of work, suffering from a mini stroke, suffering from my tinnitus, to going into actually having surgery, which was planned, but they had to delay a little bit because of my TIA. So, I did have surgery on this ear. It was to help repair some of the hearing loss that I suffer from, which significantly helped. I still have tinnitus. I have it right now as I'm talking to you. It's just on this side, but it is at a pitch which is very, very manageable for me. There are exercises that I can do for myself to kind of meditate and push it to the back, whereas before I was not able to do that because the pitch was so loud. So, I did not get a chance to let my body rest and heal that I should have, because my husband's workman's comp case did not go as a typical case would go. He didn't have his surgery. He didn't receive any money. He didn't, go to rehab and recoup his leg and then go back to light duty and then go back to full duty. He was just put out of work, and they did not want to pay for his surgery. They did not want to give him, his workman's comp pay. So we went an entire, well over a year, from December 14th until March of 2020, with my husband not bringing in an income. And for my husband, who is really like a man's man and provides for the family, that year was extremely difficult for him to sit on the couch, because if you're in a workman's comp claim, you cannot work while you're in litigation. You can't get another job, you can't file for unemployment, you can't use your short-term disability. You really have to just sit and wait, and you are at the mercy of the lawyers and the court, and it was a mess. We went an entire year without his income, which meant I had to work harder than I've ever worked or have worked in my entire life. I've worked hard, in my life, carrying on 3 to 4 jobs at one time when I was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was half my age. But to go from working like a 12-hour shift, which I do, and then driving for Uber, which I did, another 4 or 5 hours at night, and then starting it all over again. I did that for a little over 12 months, 7 days a week. Um, so I really feel like I have been put through the ringer. And last year when all this was happening, couldn't understand, why is this happening? Like, God, I've suffered so much in my life and I've worked so hard, to be a better person, and the mistakes that I've made and things that you regret, and I've worked so hard to get to this point. Like, why? I couldn't understand. And I'm a firm believer in faith and that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. We definitely would not have been able to make it through that last year without the help and guidance of my family and friends, who were totally amazing. Having friends filling up my fridge when I had no food, having other friends of mine taking me and my husband out to concerts, and knowing that we had nothing and they wanted nothing in return but to see us smile and have a good time, to having my daughter, pay a couple of bills for me every month. Another friend, helping with paying my rent. My daughter surprised me one month and paid my rent for me. A girlfriend of mine and her husband who I could call, on a dime and say, like, look, I need somebody to talk to. And I'm not going to name these people individually because you all know who you are. I don't have to say it. And some things need to be left private, and, but for that, my husband and myself will always be eternally grateful. That we got through that. It was so hard. And the stress that we were both under. Sorry for crying, but this is how I am. It was, besides the year that my mother died in 2008, the hardest year of my life. In the mix of all that, my son, my only natural born son, I have a stepson, he moved to Brazil to be with the love of his life, and got married, and we weren't able to go to his wedding because financially we could not afford it. So that was very difficult, to have your son get married and not be there. But we made it through the year, and it was hell. And let me tell you, you have to really be strong and have, and have your faith. I'm a Christian. Everybody has their own views on God and who your God is. We're not all cut from the same cloth, and we are not all, Christians. There's Jews, there's Buddhists, there's Muslims, there's, plethora of religions out there. But I really, came in touch with my God last year, and the faith that I had really got me through. My son is very grounded in his faith. He was a great support to me. I could call him up at any time and say, Tyler, mom needs a little pep talk. My kids were they were awesome, and my friends were great. And I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for sticking by me. Subscribers of mine sending me messages of, get well, and, we're so happy that you survived that stroke, and we can't wait till you come back. And, I appreciate all the well wishes and good thoughts because they really go a long, long way. I have tried to sit down and make this video for the last day and a half. I don't edit, so what you see is what you get. I actually had this video done already and, uploaded on my channel, and realized that the video that I uploaded had completely cut off the intro to my video. So what do I have to do? I have to redo it and have these emotions again, which, I could cry about it tomorrow, about what I went through. I could cry about it from a year from now because it was an extremely tough year. But as I've said, I am back. I'm so blessed and happy to be in the spot that I'm at right now, to be able to be in front of the camera with my subscribers and people that view this and put my thoughts out into the world. My channel is so much more than this and this. It's more than a makeup brush. It's more than lip gloss. It's more than how to put on eyeliner and how to put on lashes. It is trying to connect with my viewers, trying to connect with the world and putting my thoughts out there. Some people may not care to hear it, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. It is a part of me that I can leave behind when I'm dead and buried years from now, God willing, that my kids can look back on, or grandkids or great grandkids, and say, wow, my grandmom was cool. She put her thoughts and feelings out there. And it really is just a way for me to connect. The beauty part, as my daughter and I discussed earlier, is an avenue for me to do that because I still love all things beauty. I want to teach you how to put on your lashes, and they can stay on for 2 to 3 days. And these aren't individual, folks. These are actually strip. Or how to do your own nails. I've had the same manicure for 2 weeks. How to do your own nails so that you don't have to go to the salon and spend a bazillion dollars, or, save some money if you're struggling for money and you still want to look pretty. I have tips and tricks that can teach you how to still have that feminine side, but save a buck. And the products that I have used, I have so much makeup around me all the time that is just like a collection. It really is. Sorry, I'm wiping my nose. It really is a collection of makeup. I only use what really works for me, that I consider really good makeup and lasts a long time. That's just the avenue that I want to take through beauty and connecting with my audience. I want to thank everybody, as I said, for sticking by me and not unsubscribing from my channel. I want to send out positive thoughts and vibes to, everybody that is affected by this global pandemic that we're in right now. And trust me, I do not take it lightly, what is happening all over the world. If you are suffering or have lost somebody due to this virus, you will be in my daily prayers and thoughts always. This is a very difficult, hard time that our world is going through right now. We can't have a proper burial. We can't have a proper wedding or a proper christening or first birthday party because we have to practice social distancing. We have to stand in line to be able to get into a grocery store. It's such a different world that we're in right now. But I believe with all of my heart that this too shall pass. We are losing so many people, and it breaks my heart every day. But God is gaining his angel warriors up there. And we have to have faith that this is happening for a purpose, and we may not know what it is, and it could be individual. You may believe that this pandemic has happened so that maybe you can't work. Now you have the opportunity to get closer to your children or do something for yourself that you've wanted to do. But a lot of people are hurting out there financially from this, and, that doesn't go unnoticed by me. If anybody understands the struggle and suffering of not having enough, it's certainly me. I certainly do understand that. So I'm going to sign off on this video on a positive note, saying thank you so much. I feel so blessed in every way possible that I am sitting in this chair today and being able to film this video. I am going to be uploading new content probably once a week because it takes me forever to film a video. And I'm so excited to share my thoughts and views, and not just on makeup, but on being 50 something and having a half a century behind you, changing it and metamorphosing into something new and entering that last phase of your life. And I just am so excited to share all of that with everybody out there. I want to send my light and my love to all of you out there. Be the light in somebody's darkness. We really need it today. Be kind to somebody. There's no room right now for cruelty in any way, shape, or form. I want you all to stay safe, stay healthy, love yourself, and love one another. And I will see you soon in the very near future with a brand new video. And I look forward to having this journey with you. Thank you so much for tuning in and entering my little world today. And I just love you all so much. Take care. Peace. Be kind to one another. All right. I'll see you in my next video. Take care, everybody.